After studying this module, you shall be able to know the concept of project formulation, learn the significance of project formulation, identify the elements of project formulation, evaluate the common errors in project formulation, identify difference between project formulation and DPR, understand environmental impact analysis. The entrepreneur faces number of problems while establishing a new project. These problems may be in relation to the formalities and procedures to be completed, technical requirements, or even financial constraints. There is a need to set the boundaries or the limit of the work intended to be performed under the proposed project. In fact, the project is required to be given the precise meaning. It definitely prevents the confusion, conflict, or duplication of various aspects related with the project. The very first stage in life cycle of project is project formulation. This module discusses the need, significance, and elements of project formulation. Nowadays, the impact on environment needs to be analyzed compulsorily. The environment impact analysis has also been included in this module. Now, let us first understand the concept of project formulation. Project formulation is a step-by-step investigation and development of the project where each step is for further development of project idea. It is a control mechanism which provides for restricting expenditure on project development. So it enables to control the expenditure, and if at any step there are signs of anything going wrong, or if weakness is observed in the project at any stage of investigation, the project may even be called off. Project formulation is the systematic development of a project idea for the eventual objective of arriving at an investment decision. It has the built-in mechanism of ringing the danger bell at the earliest possible stage of resource utilization. Coming to the need for project formulation. In the process of establishment of a new project, number of problems is faced by the entrepreneur. The resources are scarce and alternative uses are available for these. That is why step-by-step investigation and development of a project idea are required. Following are some of the problems that make the entrepreneur to undergo a lot of harassment, frustration, and disappointment. But a project formulation exercise undertaken at right time in a right manner mitigates the rigorousness as well as the magnitude of these problems. The following are some of these key issues due to which the need for project formulation becomes inevitable. The first one is selection of appropriate technology. The project necessarily requires technology to be adopted. The entrepreneur faces great difficulty in the selection of appropriate technology for the project. The problem may be in relation with development of new technology or selection of suitable and adequate technology out of technologies available. In highly industrialized economies, modern technologies have been developed, but these may not be suitable for small and medium projects or in case of developing economies. There may be a case that good technology is available, but resources are not adequate enough. Another problem may be the requirement of skilled manpower. This clearly indicates that the project needs to be thoroughly examined as regards these factors. It is not possible without project formulation. The second one is influence of external economies. Any project cannot function in isolation and it requires the support of external economies. The dependency of the project in question on other projects or industry may be with respect to supply of raw material, requirements of power and its supply, supply of tools, spare parts, ancillary enterprises for supply of technical, financial or managerial services, complex network of communication and transport facilities. The direct costs are the basic cost of the project. But in the case of developing countries, the above stated ancillary costs are also considered. In developed countries or advanced industrial environment, this basic cost is not required as it is contributed in terms of external economies. Non-availability of technical manpower. The successful execution requires availability of appropriate technically qualified personnel. The project formulation duly analyzes the aspect of project so that a technically feasible project may be abandoned at every initial stage. The fourth issue is related with resource mobilization. The resource mobilization refers to the ability to gather various resources to accomplish the desired goal. The mobilization may be very easy and feasible at the very initial level of the project, but it is required continuously throughout the project. The project formulation takes into account this aspect also. The fifth one is legal scenario. The government policies require being adhered compulsorily. The basic problem faced in most of the countries is non-availability of consolidated and detailed information. In India, Ministry of Industrial Development has issued a compendium in the name of Guidelines for Industries. This compendium covers the following aspects. These are industrial policy, licensing policy and procedures, if any, guidelines for foreign collaboration, import and export control orders, present status of capacities, and the possibility of further development. Now let us come to the significance of project formulation. The huge projects require assistance from the financial institutions. The funding becomes hassle-free in case of well-formulated projects. The most viable way of selling a project idea to financing agency requires allocation of resource constraints to various projects with due consideration of relative importance and viability. It can be made possible in an effective manner through project formulation. The project report prepared after due project formulation will be of great assistance. Elements of project formulation. In order to take the most effective project decision, project formulation is required. This exercise of project formulation usually contains the following elements. These are the feasibility analysis, techno-economic analysis, project design and network analysis, input analysis, financial analysis, social cost benefit analysis, and project appraisal. Coming to the feasibility analysis. Feasibility analysis is a process undertaken to determine whether the project idea is worth proceeding with or not. It evaluates the future of the project idea within the limitations imposed by the environment upon it and also the constraints of the implementing body. Generally, the outcome of the study can give a positive result under which the decision to proceed with the project is taken, otherwise the project can be abandoned. Sometimes the data is not sufficient to arrive at any decision, and in that case further information is collected till a decision can be reached. The feasibility analysis consists of 3 stages. These are pre-feasibility study, feasibility study, and project report. It has been discussed in detail in the module on feasibility studies. Techno-economic analysis. It is concerned with finding out the demand potential of the project and the right technology required attaining the objective of the project. It is important to analyze whether the economy will absorb the output. The technology would mean the project design, the methodology, and the process required. Thus, it is to be understood in a broader sense. This analysis consists of 2 important segments. The first segment is related with ascertainment of maximum project output, whereas the purpose of second segment is the selection of optimal strategy to achieve the output. Project design and network analysis. It is related with the flow of various individual activities and their interrelationship in order to complete the project. It identifies activities which can be started and also the activities which can be taken up simultaneously. It is generally depicted in the form of a network diagram. Coming to the input analysis. After all the analysis, the next step is to find out all the resources that are required to complete the project. These resources form the input of the project. It also identifies all the different phases where the resources are required. Financial analysis. The estimates about the financial cost of the project and the revenue generated by it so as to determine whether it will be profitable to undertake the project or not is termed as financial analysis. Following norms are adopted by financial institutions in the examination of financial feasibility of the project. These are: cost estimates of the project are to be examined, whether such costs are realistic and escalation is taken into account. Number 2, time and cost overruns should be considered. Number 3, sources of finance, that is debt equity ratio, financing of fixed assets, financing of working capital, promoters contribution towards share capital, etc. Debt equity ratio of 2:1 should be maintained. Number 4, financial viability, that is profitability, sensitivity analysis, cash flows are to be examined thoroughly. Number 5, IRR should be worked out. Number 6, interest coverage ratio should be calculated. Number 7, the level at which the project is likely to break even is also examined. Number 8, loan repayment schedule is drawn up as per financial projections. Repayment should be made out of internal resources. Number 9, in case of existing company, the impact of new project on the level of production, net earnings, borrowings, costs, etc. is to be seen. Number 10, unsecured loans from promoters are allowed only in restricted circumstances and with the condition that they should not withdraw the amount without permission of the financial institutions. Then coming to social cost benefit analysis. The concept of social cost benefit analysis, or SCBA, has been introduced by the French economist Jules Dupit. Social cost benefit analysis is a systematic evaluation technique for long-term decision making in the capital project appraisals. It is an analytical tool in decision making which enables a systematic comparison to be made between the social cost and related social benefits, with due emphasis on technical and other feasibility studies, but focusing more on social impact. In the context of planned economies, the social cost benefit analysis aids in evaluating individual projects within the planning framework. In addition to technical, commercial and financial viability of the project, it should also be socially desirable. The following are the indicators of social desirability of a project. These are employment potential, value added per employee, value added per rupee of capital, capital output ratio, cost benefit ratio, social cost benefit analysis, area development, foreign exchange benefit to the country. It must be emphasized that there can be no definite principle which can be universally applied to convert commercial cost and benefits into social cost and benefits. However, the following two principal approaches are suggested for SCBA. It deals with the estimation of social cost and social benefits. This analysis is undertaken to ascertain the impact of the project on the society as a whole. Greater emphasis is laid on social objectives in this analysis with lesser profit motive. The projects aimed at the development of the society will give secondary importance to the profitability of the project, keeping in view the social objectives as primary. The first one is UNIDO approach. This approach focuses on consumption as well as final goal of all investments, and therefore the benefit and cost relating to a project are determined in terms of impact on consumption. Then there is Little Mirrlees approach. The Little Mirrlees approach determines the benefits and cost of projects in terms of investment. The social cost and benefits are measured in terms of international prices. Apart from above, some financial institutions like IDBI, IFCI and ICICI are following simplified versions of LM approach, that is economic rate of return, effective rate of protection and domestic resource test. All these approaches have been discussed in detail in subsequent modules. Coming to the project appraisal. The term project appraisal refers to the process of assessing whether to proceed with the project or not in a systematic manner. It is related with calculating the feasibility and viability of the project. While appraising a project, economic, technical, marketing and financial feasibility is generally checked. A feasibility report is then prepared based on which the decision is taken whether to proceed with the project or not. The type of appraisal can be technical, commercial, financial, economic or management. Now let us discuss about project formulation versus detailed project report. The project formulation is totally different from detailed project report. The difference lies in the basic purpose and the timings of the preparation of the two documents. The following are the major points of differences between the two. Pre and post investment decision. Project formulation is an investing process and is undertaken to find out and to present relevant facts before taking the decision. Project formulation enables the decision maker to take decision to accept or reject the project. For the same purposes, the PF examines the project idea from the standpoint of the objectives, social impacts and financial and technical viability. The detailed project report, on the other hand, is post-investment decision. It involves the preparation of detailed specifications and design, engineering drawings, site investigation, foundations design and process design, as well as the time schedules for project implementation. Purpose. Project formulation forms the basis on which the decision of investment is to be taken. It is considered that PIR or the pre-investment report. On the other hand, detailed project report, that is DPR, is a detailed work plan for the implementation of the project. Contents. The elements of the project formulation are feasibility analysis, techno-economic analysis, project design and network analysis, input analysis, financial analysis, social cost benefit analysis and project appraisal. Whereas the contents of DPR include general information, promoters details, marketing and selling arrangements, technical arrangements, environmental aspects, schedule of implementation, etc. Thus, project formulation always precedes detailed project report. Now let us discuss about the steps in appraisal process adopted by Planning Commission. The Planning Commission, now the Niti Aayog, follows specific approach for project appraisal. In this regard, the project appraisal passes through following three stages. The first one is project formulation, the second is feasibility study, and the third is detailed project report or DPR. The investment proposals in the first two stages are handled by a Public Investment Board in order to arrive at a decision. The examination and clearance of detailed project report are referred by financial advisors in consultation with concerned administrative ministries. It may result into revision in cost estimates. Due to this revision, the difference arises as regards the amounts approved at the stage of investment decision by PIB. It is important to note that if the revised cost estimates exceeds by more than 20% of the amount approved, then the matter is again referred to the board. Stage 1. First of all, the priority and position of the investment proposal in the context of 5-year or annual plan is considered at preliminary and board level. The smooth functioning of this process requires close association of administrative machinery with the Planning Commission, because formulation stage should necessarily be considered before the preparation of plans. If foreign exchange implications of the project are serious, then the Department of Economic Affairs is also consulted. Thereafter, a feasibility report is prepared considering the views of concerned agencies, Administrative Ministry, Public Investment Board, Plan Finance of Planning Commission, Project Approval Wing of Planning Commission. The feasibility report is prepared if the board directs so. Stage 2. This stage is concerned with feasibility study. In the first stage, feasibility report is prepared on direction of Public Investment Board. The Administrative Ministry marks comments on the feasibility report prepared under stage 1. The multiple copies of the report are made and these are sent to the concerned financial advisor in the department concerned. The financial advisor forwards these copies to feasibility report to the following departments, which are Plan Finance and Project Appraisal Wing in Department of Expenditure, Bureau of Public Enterprises, Department of Economic Affairs, Planning Commission, any other agency deemed necessary. The comments to be made by above agencies consider various important issues like advisability of plan funds, desirability of diversion of plan funds to new projects from those already on hand, the economic benefits of the project as distinct from financial returns, the advisability of undertaking the project in the public sector or joint sector or the private sector, project's contribution to the social and economic objectives of the country, the plant capacity and investment timing in the light of demand and supply balance, including export possibilities. Crucial assumptions in the feasibility report which are likely to affect the performance of the commissioned project in relation to the claims made thereon in the feasibility report. Stage 3. The comments are received by financial advisor from all concerned department as listed above. A report is also prepared by the financial advisor incorporating these comments. This report is forwarded to the Plan Finance and Project Approval Wing, that is PFAP, in the Department of Expenditure. The PFAP prepares a final report after due consideration of essential points and notes obtained from different agencies. The final report is to be examined by PIB as regards the financial and economic characteristics of proposed investment. The final decision is taken by the board. The board may decide to go ahead with the proposed investment or to drop it or to modify it. Now let us discuss environmental impact analysis, that is development in project formulation. Coming to the history of EIA. The growing environmental awareness in 1960 leads to evolvement of EIA. In order to have more objective decision making, the EIA included technical evaluation. If we consider the case of United States, then the formal status was given to EIA in 1969 and a new act was enacted as National Environmental Policy Act. The concept of EIA. In respect of any project, policy, plan or program, then impact on environment may be positive or negative. The decision to continue or to go further with the proposed action depends upon it. Environmental impact assessment, that is EIA, is the formal systematic procedure which is used in order to trace the consequences of project or plan on the environment. This assessment may be done for present or proposed action. The definition of EIA. The International Association for Impact Assessment, that is IAIA, defines an environmental impact assessment as a process of identifying, predicting, evaluating and mitigating the biophysical, social and other relevant effects of development proposals prior to major decisions being taken and commitments made. The basic purpose of EIA is to ensure that the project is environment friendly and it will not impact the environment adversely. Methods of EIA. The methods of EIA may be general or industry specific. Some of these are following. EIA for industrial products. The impact of industrial products on the environment should be identified and measured. For this, PLCA, that is Product Environmental Life Cycle Analysis method, is generally used. This method considers the activities related with the extraction of raw materials, ancillary materials, the equipment, the production, use, disposal and ancillary equipment. EIA for genetically modified plants. The specific methods available for these plants are GMP, RAM and INOVA, that is INOVA. EIA where impacts cannot be quantified. In order to apply EIA, there is a need to measure data and estimate values of impact indicators. But in some cases, like landscape quality, lifestyle quality, social acceptance, etc., the quantification is not possible. And also, the information from similar EIA cannot be received. In such cases, approximate reasoning method, that is fuzzy logic, expert judgment, community sentiment, etc., are usually employed. An alternative arithmetic approach and software like TDEIA are also available. Let us summarize what we have learned from this module. The very first stage in life cycle of project is project formulation. Project formulation is a step-by-step investigation and development of the project where each step is for further development of project idea. A project formulation exercise undertaken at the right time in a right manner mitigates the rigorousness as well as the magnitude of these problems. The huge projects require assistance from financial institutions. The funding becomes hassle-free in case of well-formulated projects. In order to take the most effective project decision, project formulation is required. This exercise of project formulation usually contains elements like feasibility analysis, techno-economic analysis, project design and network analysis, input analysis, financial analysis, social cost benefit analysis and project appraisal. Environmental impact assessment, that is EIA, is a formal systematic procedure which is used in order to trace the consequences of project or plan on the environment. This assessment may be done for present or the proposed action.